but it's still recorded, so let's do it.
Good afternoon, and if you are here today, a very excuse me, a very warm and wealthy welcome to another live stream with Tim Wagner and myself, Dr. D. And together we form part of Wellthy. We are an organization or a company designed to bring coaching and leadership development to corporate companies. We are on a mission to figure out why the current well-being employee programs are currently not working, because we are on a mission to bring the solutions to your company. And Tim here has been on a very great mission interviewing some HR managers and HR specialists in Africa, and has some very interesting insights that he's collected. And so today we're going to be chatting a little bit about these insights and what people in Africa and abroad are experiencing in the world of work. Very soon we'll be chatting more about what's going on in South Africa, but today Tim will be telling us about all things happening in Africa. Tim, good afternoon. Very excited to hear all that you have to share with us today.
Thank you, Dr. D. Phenomenal. Thanks for the introduction. Yes, this has ended up by becoming an extremely interesting, insightful, and eye-opening exercise is interviewing HR professionals. So any HR people who want to be interviewed and you want to chat and share your perspectives, please do reach out for us, and you'll see the link in the comments below for the email address or DM or whatever it is, because we're live here every Wednesday on YouTube and LinkedIn. But this week I've been interviewing predominantly people from Ghana, and in fact, it's predominantly from Ghana. Today I've got somebody else I'm interviewing from Kenya, then tomorrow from Uganda. Okay. But the different perspectives from different HR professionals and executives has been phenomenal. Has been really, and being people that, as yourself, Dr. D, from the physical perspective, from a doctor's background, going into well-being, into corporates, and saying, well, on a health basis, what can we do? And from myself on the coaching and the leadership style, and saying what psychological safety things, it's been unique, because now I'm looking and saying, well, is what coaches out there who do similar things to what you and I are doing, is what we're doing actually what the market and the clients need? And the answer right now that I found is no, we're not.
Very interesting.
I'm going to share something with you here. I had a phenomenal chat yesterday, and if you're listening to this and you find that there's some value in it, all the interviews, the people have agreed, yes, they'll be recorded, and I'm sharing those. So follow our posts on the Wellthy LinkedIn channel. Follow the posts that we're doing where there's clips on it as well. So I'm going to share some of those. I had one interesting idea, which was a solution. So I'm going to end on solutions. We end on a high note. I found this really insightful, where there's a bank in Ghana that identified one of the key stresses of their bank tellers, who are mostly female. One of the big stresses is they work 5 days a week. They have then on a Saturday need to go back from home in rural, back into town to the market to do the shopping for the week. It was a big stress for them. Okay. So what the company did was they've invited the stalls at the market to go to the bank once a week or once a fortnight, whatever it is, so that the ladies there, instead of needing to come back in their own time on a Saturday to the shopping, can do the shopping right there and then. That was an out-the-box thinking of looking further than the people being, you're an employee, do your job.
Yes, sure.
Isn't that interesting?
That is amazing. And how did that play out with regards to the employees and how have they responded to the employer actually meeting them halfway?
So the person that told me about this, it was actually another HR. I'm not sure which bank it is. I don't know who it is. She was just relating a story, but it was the idea of looking outside of the box. And one of the big challenges, and you and I hear it all the time, is that companies are just ticking the box of employee well-being, the spa day, the golf day, the pizza on a Friday to make the team feel better, but it's not what's causing stress to the actual line staff. Just not solving the solution.
Sure. So what I'm hearing from you, Tim, is that what we actually need to be doing, or what employees would appreciate from their companies, is sort of a tailored approach to their well-being, as in figuring out what their particular pain point or a problem is, health-wise, stress-wise, and actually assisting to support or solve that.
Yes, 100%. The one gent said to me, involve employees in the solution. In other words, ask them, what is your greatest cause of stress? Because it may not be you, the boss. It could be, but there may be other things that can be solved very quickly. And it doesn't have to be workplace, because in the end, sometimes we hear about work-life balance. Sorry, no, there's no such thing. It's called life. You don't have work and home. So the stressor could be a home-based pressure. That if the company can then say, well, we can solve that to make more high-functioning teams and people in the office, because we help them solve the home-based pressure, it means they're high-functioning and more well looked after in the business. Nice.
And tell me, what was the running theme that you got from these interviews, Tim? What was it that they all had in common in terms of what employees actually need or felt was valuable when it comes to some of these employee well-being
initiatives? I love that. What is the consistent thread between the people that I'm interviewing? The consistent thread is that there isn't one. I'm looking at my notes and I'm going through this, and each person I'm interviewing are going, that's interesting. Nobody said that before. And the next person, that's interesting. Nobody's mentioned that before. So I'll give you an example. One of the gents, it was about the stigma that overbearing leaders have over their subordinate leadership in the team. There's a stigma of mental health. Don't talk about it. Burnout. Don't talk about it. But it was top down. The next person I interview says, we found that teaching and coaching the line managers, the middle management, about psychological safety, for them to roll it down, leave the executives.
Okay.
Help the line managers in understanding psychological safety training and coaching to filter down to the line staff, which are the people at the front line actually dealing with the customer. They found that more influential when I asked the question, but surely it gets driven from the top down, and they said no. Because once the top see the benefit of what's happening, they will then adopt it. So one is saying it's from executive down, the other one's saying no, it's from line managers and up. Very interesting. Completely different. Yeah. The next person didn't even want to speak about leaders. It wasn't identified there. What they were identifying is saying that the actual HR are under so much pressure. They also need to act in a psychological perspective, as a psychiatrist, for sitting down and having that time to sit with the team and say, I can see you're stressed. How can I help you? How's the home life? How's the family? How's the kids? So they're filling this psychologist role, but they don't have the time. It takes them, yes, it's an essential part, but it takes them away from everything else they got to do. And when you're sitting with that person, you need to commit half an hour. Not just, okay, we're talking, that's very nice. Sorry for the tears. Oh, how sad, but I've got a meeting. No. So what they said was, the companies need to bring in external experts to have the team. Have somebody, either an external person coming in or have somebody in the company, if it's big enough, there's enough staff, who focus solely on the well-being and the psychological safety of the people.
Sure. I love that. So no one size fits all. Involve your employees and hear what it is that they need, and then get an expert to actually be responsible for that particular need.
Yeah. It's very much, and I think maybe if there is a theme, the theme is doing the research in your specific company for what are the greatest needs. You may be more service-based, you may be more administration-based, you may be, it varies. And so you'll find the blue-collar workers have a different need if you're an administration-based business, an accounting firm versus a building company. The needs are different. So to say there's one package fits all would be unrealistic, which means communicating, which means speaking to the people. And I think that's the in fact, here we go. You see, just thinking and talking about it, there is a common theme. The common theme is that the needs, no, let me rephrase that. The root cause of what's creating stress in the workplace that leads to burnout, leads to people quitting unexpectedly, the root causes are not being identified and addressed. So there's solutions, but the root cause is not being identified, which means go back to, again, speak to the team. Find out, what are your needs? Our needs are, we don't want to come to town on a Saturday to come shopping. Okay, let's solve that. Something as simple as along those lines. So it's that side. What is the core problem? Now I'm going to share something really profound with you. His name's Louis. I recorded this one. It's out there already. He brought in what he learned from hospitality industry into a different corporate environment, but he took it in place. He took it with him. The hospitality company, great system in place. His new business didn't, new job didn't. And to help the executives identify the biggest challenge, and I really like this one, he provided the statistics. Executives love stats. Show me the numbers. Financially, what does it mean? Time-wise, what does it mean? Does it add value to the organization? Show me the numbers. So he did. The first numbers he showed them was the absenteeism rate. He traced the absenteeism over a long period of time and identified the true cost to the business of the high absenteeism and said, let's uncover that. He said they were, okay, that's high, but you know what? It's sort of acceptable. It's always the way it's been, blah, blah, blah. No, just because it's high doesn't mean you accept it, because then he went and prevented of people who quit due to personal reasons. Yeah, I remember that. What does it mean to you if one of your leadership resigns to personal reasons? Resign immediately, let's say personal reasons. What does it mean? Right? Be a problem. So he then went and he did a survey. I'll see if I can find out what he exactly called it. Can't remember. He named it a specific thing. And the question was, would you as an employee promote the company that you're working for, your employer, to your relatives and say, come work for us? Sure. Anonymous. Do you know what the number was? The percentage of employees that would recommend their employer to their family? 2%. Now, does that not tell you, executives at the top, that you have a fundamental employee well-being, psychological safety problem.
That would
That
sting.
stung. That allowed him the opportunity to then go and implement a lot of things that before they were saying, it's normal, it's okay, it's the industry wide, it's not our problem, it's their, all these things where they like go, hit in the face.
Sure.
But it goes again, asking the people, how are you feeling? Would you do this? Would you recommend us to other people? So there we go. So this is a phenomenal, interesting exercise. We're going to be unpacking this more and more as we speak to more HR people. And
Definitely.
I don't know, what is the end game with all this information? What's the end goal?
Wow, we might just become publishers, you know?
Who knows? But it's interesting, and having just an open forum is profound.
100%. I mean, look, knowledge is power, and I think as an organization, this information is what is going to help us tailor what we are going to be bringing to the corporate environment. We are coming in trying to say to companies, there are statistics saying what you are doing is not working. Here's what we've heard from real HR professionals about what they need, what their employees need, and here's what we've got to offer you as a solution.
Perfect.
But I think it's very interesting that we just engage in these conversations, because conversations are the first point that are going to start freeing everyone to feel safe to converse about some of these very difficult topics. So stick around for more of these. Every Wednesday, 1 o'clock, we have these live conversations with Tim. Do be on the lookout for some of those interviews as well that we'll be having with some of these HR professionals on the Wellthy page. Am I right, Tim?
And on YouTube as well.
And on YouTube. And if you are looking to inquire more about what we have to offer you, if you're looking to be part of one of these interviews, please pop us an email. Tim will drop, I think, my email
in the comments.
down in the comment section. And yeah, let's keep these conversations going.
Dr. D, I love these conversations. We're going to have more of them. So it's everybody who's either live or watching the recordings, stay tuned for more Wellthy conversations that really count. Make a